Shoot and reload. Now, I believe when I tell people what they should do, I think I should tell them what they shouldn't do. I hope the sound is going to work on this. Oh, it's not going to work. A very close call. Boy, the coach isn't real happy about it. He's just giving him an earful. And look at that. The ref is just tuning him out. Boy, where do you practice to be able to take a beating like that?
And he's just listening.
And why are you fix that first? How come you don't take the garbage out? Why come you? I don't think that's funny at all. Stop laughing.
You don't.
I promise my wife I don't think that's funny. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply.
That's true.
And isn't that true? We're listening, but we're listening to our own mind, our own thoughts, and that gets in the way. If we're doing that, we are not truly listening to the other person. And relationships suffer as a result. So rather than shoot and reload, we're going to talk about empathic listening. Going to look at 5 levels of listening, and here's where you can start to fill this in. We're going to start with the worst. The worst level of listening. Oh, well, Abe Lincoln. I love Abe Lincoln. When I'm getting ready to reason with a man. What's that say? Somebody read that for me. What's that say?
When I get ready to reason with a man, I spend 1/3 of my time thinking about myself and what am I going to say, and 2/3 about him and what he is going to say.
Isn't that brilliant? I don't know how familiar you are with Abe Lincoln quotes.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not well versed, but there's 2 of them that I really like. One, Abe Lincoln said he was accused of being two-faced. Two-faced.
Yeah.
And Abe Lincoln replied, me, two-faced? If I were two-faced, do you think I'd be wearing this one? But he also said this.
Very good.
He said, I don't like that man. I must get to know him better.
Smart man.
Huh? I don't like that man, or I don't like that woman. I must get to know them better.
Amen.
Oh, I like that. I like that. And I like this too. Don't think about what you're going to say. Focus on the other person. Here's that worksheet. Use that. All right. All right. And you're just in time for the handout, for the take time to listen. Here we go. Here we go. 5 levels of listening. What do you think the I stands for? Anybody? The worst level of listening there is. Anybody want to guess what the I might stand for?
Ignore.
Ignore, yeah. Ignoring. Very good. Just the other person is talking and you are zoned out. You are not listening at all. You are totally ignoring them. I won't ask if you've ever done that, but have you ever had the experience of you're talking to somebody and you know they're ignoring you? Mm-hmm. Is that a fun experience? Yeah, you can say, and they try to hide it maybe. Although that's actually more pretend listening. That we find more common. Most people, if you're right there face to face, they're probably not going to ignore you. That's too hard to do. But you can know when somebody's pretending to listen to you.
Yeah.
Their eyes aren't there, their body, they're not tracking with you. It's less bad than ignoring, but it's certainly not good. Same with selective listening. Selective listening is an interesting one. Have you ever been in a conversation?
Is the second one pretend listening?
Yes, pretend.
Oh.
I think I spelled it, yeah.
Yes.
Pretend listening. You're talking about a vacation that you took, or you're talking about something that's important to you, and the next thing you know, you're talking about their vacation.
Yeah.
Have you had that experience?
All about
They
them.
hijacked the conversation because
Yes.
they were selectively listening for something they could connect with,
Grab it.
and they grabbed it.
Yeah.
And again, folks, I want to be so careful that I'm not judgmental. Have I ever done that? Hello, yes. Okay? Ask my wife. No, don't ask my wife. I've done that. Am I proud of that? No. But again, we're surrounded by hurting people. We're surrounded by hurting people. And I want to say this now. I think I might say it again in the other workshop. But look around the room. Just make eye contact with 2 or 3 people. Just nod, smile, eye contact. 2 or 3 people.
That made me cry.
You just looked at 2 or 3 people who were hurting at some point in their lives. People ask me, how you doing? They ask you that, right? They say, how you doing? You folks say fine.
Fine.
Liars.
That's
You know what I say when people ask me, how you doing, Ron? I say, well, I think I'm doing okay. Why? Have you heard something? Or I'll say Charles Dickens. It's the best of times, it's the worst.
Worst of times.
And take out best and worst for a moment. But isn't that true for your life right now? Some parts of your life are going just fine, don't need any improvement, any attention whatsoever. Some parts of your life could stand some improvement. That's all of us at any given moment. And so we're surrounded by hurting people, and I dare say the best gift we can give them is the gospel, that Jesus Christ
Amen.
loves them and died for them, and they can have a home in heaven if they want to. That's the best. A real close one is by listening to them and show that we care and that they matter. People are hungry for that. Yes, ma'am.
But I think sometimes it's easier to say I'm doing good than to tell the truth,
Yeah.
because they don't have time to hear it.
No, exactly right. You know, you're passing somebody, how you doing? Fine, thanks. And no, you're right. Oh, you know what? Let me tell you, I got this pain in my...
Organ recital.
What? We're gonna what?
Organ recital.
Organ recital, yeah.
Thank you.
Organ recital. I am gonna use that,
You may have it.
and I'm gonna say it was mine. I made it up.
Listening may be the first thing you need to do before you try to present the gospel.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. People don't care what you know until they know that you care. You've heard that. It's a cliche, but it's also true. We try to give people the gospel. We haven't earned the right. Good point. Good point.
Is it wrong to say not so good or not doing so good? Well, how are you? Not so good? There's nothing wrong with that. That's being
Tomorrow
honest.
will be better.
No, and that's why I'm serious. I like the Dickens answer. You know, some parts of my life going real well. Thanks for asking. Some parts, pray for me.
Yeah.
How about no complaints?
No complaints? You know the one I don't like? Ooh, I don't like this, and some of you say this. Better than I deserve.
Oh.
Yeah. People
My
say that a
brother
lot.
says that all the time.
Tell them to stop it.
Yeah.
They try to
Why does people say that?
Don't ever tell your Heavenly Father that you're
Better
doing
than you
better than you
deserve.
deserve. That's an insult to Him.
Yes.
Oh, I wonder if he realizes that. You know, Dave Ramsey with Financial Peace University says that all the time.
Better than I deserve. I know. I'll call Dave. I'll talk to him.
Tell her to stop that.
Attentive listening is a whole lot less bad. All right, so we're getting ignoring is worse than pretending, which is worse than selective, which is worse than attentive. But attentive listening is still, where's the focus? If you're listening attentively, where's the focus? On them or on you? I'll answer my own question. It's on you. You're attending to them, but still, what does it mean to me? What can I get out of what they're saying, or how do I interpret and things of that nature? It's not the best. Here's the only one that's good, folks. Empathic or empathetic listening. Not pathetic listening.
Empathetic.
Empathic or empathetic listening. This again is listening with the whole heart. You are just focused on that other person. Grab a hand out. Worksheet, if you would, please. You are totally focused on that person. What a gift. Do you have people, be honest with me, do you have people in your life that really care enough about you that they're going to listen no matter what it is you're going to say?
Yeah.
You're fortunate. You're fortunate. We don't all have that. I don't know that I can think of I know I can't think of a lot of people I would put in that category.
My parents were that way.
Your parents were that way? Ah, wonderful.
That's good.
What did I just hear? You know, kids come to us with little problems. You better pay attention to those little problems. Because if you just blow it off, oh, that's a little problem, when they start to have bigger problems, they're not going to come to you with those.
That's right.
I just heard that a few weeks ago. I go, man, that's true. That's so true. All right, what's next? Okay. All right, so what gets in the way? What gets in the way of listening? I think I want you to fill this in as well. And in fact, we're going to talk about this, so pay attention. Oh, I'm done at 3:30?
3:45.
That's all right, we're good. We're good.
3:45.
3:45, that's
Yeah.
it. That's right, thank you.
Yeah.
Advising. I used to tell people I came from a family of great advice givers. Now I say I come from a great family of advice givers. Not all their advice. Not all their advice was so good. But you know what I'm saying? People listen, and then they all of a sudden, right away, they want to give you advice. I'm going to get in such trouble now. I'm sorry, my brother. I'm sorry, my brother. My brother, I'm sorry. Any of the men I need to, I'm sorry, my brother. Ladies, let me tell you something. The men in your life are fix-it people.
Right,
The
absolutely.
men
right.
in your life are fix-it people. They believe they can fix any problem if they're given enough time, resources, tools, they can fix any problem. So ladies, when you go to a man with a problem, he instantly thinks, well, you want it fixed.
Absolutely right.
Guys, they don't. Ladies, back me up on this. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Women want to be heard. They want to be listened to and understood. They're not looking for a solution, but so many couples get into problems because you're coming in with a problem. Here's the solution. Now, go away is how it can come across. I don't think it's meant that way.
My wife and I have had that discussion many times
Oh?
over the 53 years we've been
53 years. That's a good start. All right. Yeah, no, it's a gender difference, folks, and God made us different. Come on. We live in a society where they're trying to get us to believe that men and women are identical. They're just socialized different.
Yeah.
Shut up. And the Pope and the Dalai Lama climb Mount Everest to share a pastrami sandwich. I mean, come on. Men and women are different, and it's not a better or worse. Although,
God made us that way.
I have heard that I have it on good information that in the beginning God did make man first. I mean, of course, I heard that he stepped back, he took one look, said, "I think I can improve on that."
Yeah, I'll go with that.
We're going to move on. Be careful. Is there a time to give advice?
Yes,
Yeah.
they asked for it.
When it's asked for.
Right.
Thank you.
Exactly.
I'm out of books.
Oh.
And if you don't like this one, we can trade. Any book that you got, we can trade. You want the one at home? All right, get with me and I'll get you that.
Which one do you have?
The church.
I'll trade.
You want to trade?
You want the one at home? Mm-hmm. Never mind.
Oh, let's fight over it.
She's like, no, don't trade.
Did I tell you I was a mediator? No, get with me. And seriously, you too. You want a different one? All right. There's a time and a place for giving advice. Come on. But make sure it's wanted. Don't just push. And make sure your advice is good advice. Whenever I give advice, I give that caveat, hey, this is what I would do. I can't promise it's going to be good advice for you in your situation. But again, I try not to, I want to just listen before. And so often we want to give advice before we've heard the whole situation. We haven't really listened. Probing.
I had a comment about the verse, Proverbs 12:15.
Yes.
It says, "The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise."
Yeah.
But that goes back to Psalm 1.
Psalm 1, go ahead.
Okay, let me turn there so I can read it.
And again, that's people seeking advice. And nothing wrong with that. I seek advice on a regular basis. Hello.
Right.
I'm talking about giving advice because we want to.
All right, Psalm 1 verse 1 says, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly." So where do we get advice?
Yeah.
From God.
Godly.
From godly people. "Nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of the scornful." It's talking about gossip, and it's talking about
Yeah.
who your friends are.
And I think it's Proverbs 23 that says, "My people perish for a lack of counsel." So no, there's a time to give godly advice, but I dare say not until you've prayed about it. Make sure it's godly advice, not your own. And again, make sure the person wants the advice. Otherwise, the message you're saying is, that's not a big problem. Just go do this. Or you're not that important to me. I'm not willing to listen to you. Just go fix this and leave me alone. The ball game's on.
Say that. Don't think it.
Boy, I
Don't
can
say
get in
it.
trouble, can't I? Probing is, again, what about this? And then what happened? And this and that. Is that always bad?
No, not unless you're, I don't know. If you're really interested, then they'll know that you want a clear understanding.
That's a good point, Roberta. But again, where's the focus? It's what I want to know rather
Yes.
than what you want to tell me. If the focus is on what I want to know, I'm not listening to you. I'm still listening to me. So I'm probing for more information.
Hurry up and tell me. You'll avoid it.
Is that the same as seeking for clarification?
No, that's a different story. And again, I think motive goes to, he asked, is that the same as seeking for clarification? No, if I think I didn't understand you, I can say, hold on, I'm not sure I got that. Can you put it in different words for me, please? That's the love talk that we're going to talk about. Oh, here. Yeah, tomorrow we're talking about effective speaking. So, is anybody here from the conference? Tell them we're going to knock down that wall.
Or
Okay,
meet
maybe
in
that
the
wall.
church.
Or we need a
Church,
bigger room.
That's a big congregation.
Way down there.
Yeah.
They'll give you a card.
Show
I have a caveat. Math lovers would hate you.
Probing. Probing is, again, I'm listening from my own perspective. I want to know this. I want to know that. They act like a district attorney here. Probing, don't do it. Interpreting, again, one that we do. We listen to what somebody's saying and we give it meaning, which might not necessarily be the meaning that they're giving to it. And boy, that can cause lots of problems. Same with evaluating. Do I agree or do I not agree? Do I think that's a good thing or do I think that's a bad thing? You know what? It's none of your business. It's their story. Let them tell it. And again, I'm so glad I'm giving this workshop because I need to be reminded of this on a regular basis. I don't always practice what I preach. I try to. Come on, I try to. But I'm not going to stand up here going, oh yeah, do you like me? Oh, you'll have fun, but those are obstacles to listening. So is anticipating. Anticipating what the other person's going to say. Now again, this is one that I'm guilty of. If I see somebody struggling for a word, I'll give them the word. Oh, I'm not the only one?
Yeah.
Is that always bad?
No.
No, but
Usually it is.
often it is, yeah.
That's my wife.
Okay.
Most of the
What's her
time.
number? No, often it is, because and no, it can be helpful sometimes. Be right with you. Oftentimes it can be helpful. They're struggling. Yeah, that's the word. Or no, but I'd rather, when I'm at my best, I'm going to wait. They'll find the word. Yes, ma'am.
When a person speaks another language and she's having difficulty, it's very kind if you help. It's very irritating when I'm trying to say a word and they don't help. And then the conversation comes and say, okay, that's the word I was trying to say. You know? So it's very helpful. That's why I'm
Yeah.
participating.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
What's your native tongue, by the way, ma'am?
Well, I Italian and Portuguese. I was raised in Italy and lived and born in Brazil.
So you're schizophrenic.
That was interpreting.
In Brazil.
That's interpreting.
So
Yeah.
you have 3 languages that you can draw on.
Yes,
Right.
That's
I
great.
speak others also.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks
No,
a
that's
lot.
a great point. But again, that's more concerned about the other person rather than what you want to understand. You're doing it for them, not yourself. That's a great
Yeah,
point.
I
Thank
think
you.
culturally, some people think it's wrong, it's diminishing the speaker. In other cultures, like Italians, and, so I think it's cultural. That's
Okay,
why
all
I'm
right.
sharing.
All
I've been
right.
teaching foreign languages, so.
No, that's a great point. Thank you. Thank you so much. I wish I had more books. I'd give you one. Anticipating what the other person's going to say, assuming you understood what they said, assuming you know what they meant.
My husband taught me the meaning of that.
Say that again?
My husband taught me that, what that means.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, oh yeah, assuming.
All right, I want you folks to be honest with me, and please. I had a slide that I took out because I got chastised for it. And I think because it was a church setting, but I think it's, and talk to me privately, I want to share it with you. That question
Just
about
private here.
what, how many problems come from miscommunication? The answer is actually a cross between an elephant and a rhinoceros. Hell if I know. I mean, it's flat out funny, but I think probably in a church I probably shouldn't. Just like I'm not going to explain what assuming is.
I didn't know that. He just said, by the way, that's what that means.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is too funny. Anyway. Yeah, and again, if you tell me, Ron, hey, thanks for sharing. I didn't realize other people did these things. Okay, I don't argue with people, but denial is not just a river in Egypt, isn't that? Isn't that the expression? It's stereotyping. Oh, that's a big one. Ooh, put the other way. Stereotyping. You know, oh boy, here we go. I think politically and socially and culturally, I probably lean conservative more than progressive, liberal. So, I don't know why I'm onto this, but maybe it's important. So I'll listen often to Fox News. But you know what? I also have it set for MSNBC and CNN. I want to hear what other people are talking about. I want to hear what other people are saying. But it's hysterical. That's not the right word. It's pathetic.
It is pathetic.
You put on Fox, all progressives are this, and that. And you put on MSNBC, all conservatives are this. You just change the labels. It's whatever issue it is. They're saying the exact same things about the other.
Yeah.
Stereotyping. Nobody is nothing. Oh, nobody is nothing? What? You know what I'm trying to say.
Well, may I? It's what Jesus said and what Paul said. Those of you who are judging are doing the same things. And it's so obvious. It's so obvious when you listen to that.
Yeah. And who are we?
Yeah.
And again, what I shared earlier about love yourself as you love your neighbor. If I'm not at peace with myself, you bet I'm going to be judging others.
Yeah.
You bet I'm not going to be listening to others. I'm going to want to be more heard and understood than to listen to somebody else. If I'm at peace with myself, which again, there are times that I am. Not always. I'd like to be more. I've got every reason to be at peace with myself. I'm God's creation. I don't. Hold on, I'm having a discussion. TED Talks. Anybody familiar with TED Talks? They're amazing. You can learn about anything. They're 15-minute talks, and you just type in any topic. I want you to do this. Write this down. Go to TED Talks and watch The World's Ugliest Woman. The World's Ugliest Woman. And also, while you're there, watch Brené Brown. Brené, B-R-E-N-E. Brown, you can spell yourselves.
Like B-R-E.
E-N-E. Brené Brown. Let me tell you about her first. Brené Brown is all about embracing your vulnerability. We wear these masks. We want to portray to the world that we got it all together. Everything's just fine. That's how we want to portray to the world. So we wear these masks. Brené Brown is about embracing your vulnerability. Accept the fact that you don't have it all together. You're not perfect. And it's okay. It's okay. Now grow if it's an area that you need to grow by God's grace. Come on. But we don't have to pretend that we've got it all together. We're not fooling anybody. Yes, ma'am.
Would you spell Brené?
B-R-E-N-E? That is an accent, one of those French accents. Brown.
And it's
TED Talk. TED. TED. Technology, education. I don't know what the D is. Something. The World's Ugliest Woman. Let me tell you about her for a moment. This is a lady who has an illness that she cannot metabolize food. You've heard the expression skin and bones.
I think I've seen it.
She is the epitome of skin and bones. She is not a physically attractive woman by anybody's standard until you hear her speak and you see her personality and you just come away going, wow. She's amazing. Is that sounding familiar?
I haven't heard her voice, but I've seen it.
Yeah. Oh no, she just thought, this is who I am. And I know I get looks and okay, but you know what? You can see my limitations. I can't see yours, but I know you got them too. And she's just delightful. It'll pick you up. It'll pick you up. And we'll have news for her. All right. Let's do a group exercise. Get together with just 2 or 3 others. And I just want to know, which of those do you think are the most common obstacles? Get together and take a poll. Get groups of 3 or 4. Come on. 3 or 4. Here we go. Talk with each other.
Oh, you said one check them. I already checked.
Any questions about any of them, by the way? I think they're all pretty commonly understood. But
Which one's the most
which of them are the most common? Which ones irritate you the most? Which of the ones do you identify with? Oh my goodness.
Okay. Put check marks.
You want to, I'll show you the slides.
Those 2? You have no
Oh, I forgot that. Yeah, thank you. Go ahead. That was probably the exercise I was supposed to do.
It took me maybe 60, 70 years of my life before I realized that before I could be happy, I had to forgive myself.
Oh.
And Jesus forgave me. Jesus forgave me. Yet if I refuse to forgive myself, then where am I placing myself that is of God?
Put yourself above God. Absolutely.
That changed my life.
But I know one thing.
And I didn't do that against other people. I was unforgiving of myself. Why did I do that? And it's still tempting to do that.
We all do that, but that's going to make us more judgmental of others because we can only condemn ourselves so much.
Yeah. But once I learned that it was a sin not to forgive myself, that changed my life.
Praise God. Better late than never.
Yeah, right.
All right. That's enough. Talk to me. What are some of the common obstacles to listening that annoy you, or is there some common? Probing.
People asking questions.
Yeah.
It's very common, isn't it?
We both don't like being stereotyped.
Stereotype.
Stereotyping is pretty
and women like you, I understand.
That's like saying all preachers' kids are bad,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Stereotyping.
Yeah.
Well, we had
All preachers kids.
Assuming.
What are some of the other obstacles?
well, we had stereotyping.
Assuming
Assuming?
is a big
Is that what you said?
As a parent,
Advising. And yet, but wait a minute though. I mean, there's a place. Don't never give your kids advice, but it is better to let kids learn some lessons on their own, isn't it?
Yes. But that's hard.
And let them fail.
Yeah, that's.
I have never been a parent. My wife has a 72-year-old, but we've never had children together. I was hoping you would get that.
Meaning you, huh?
Yes.
Mother-in-law, huh?
I went to the doctor a few weeks ago. He said, Ron, you're in great shape for a man of 82. I said, but Doc, I'm only 72. He said, in that case, you're a wreck. It's a great audience. Can we just stay in that? I've never had children, but I imagine letting them fail when you know you could prevent that.
That's so hard.
It's got to be hard, but isn't it?
Yeah.
They
Isn't
gotta
that the
learn,
most
though.
loving usually? I mean,
They
not to
don't
run
listen
out the
anyway.
street. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But would you rather your child make a $5 mistake buying a toy car or a $5,000 mistake later on buying a
Car.
real car? And if we don't let our kids fail once in a while, they won't learn. Yes, ma'am.
I struggle with, I have 4 boys, and I struggle with allowing their failures to affect me. And I'm like, okay, like, and I'm constantly like nitpicking them on, okay, let's not do it this way, or hey, listen to me, but I don't allow them to fail a lot of times because I know it's going to affect me, or I'm going to have to clean up a mess, or whatever. It's kind of narcissistic in a way.
Or is it going to be a reflection on you that you failed as a mother?
There you go.
You women, bless your heart, again, I don't like stereotypes, but come on, women are such nurturers. They care so much. They want the best. They're loving, but sometimes they can over. And they think, oh, if my kids mess up, it's my fault. No, it's not.
It's not.
You're an imperfect person trying to raise another imperfect person. You're going to fail. You're going to fail at times. Hopefully not on purpose, and hopefully, not with lasting damage, but yeah. It's hard. Parenting is, that's why I'm not a parent. Anybody else, when any of these other obstacles, you recognize them, I know. Any other
One thing I
just-
was to say is, I took the stereotype and then I heard the assuming, and there's kind of a combination of those because a lot of times people say things and we take them the wrong way, or we do the bad things. Like you were mentioning earlier, the news channels, they all have an agenda at hand. And we all jump to conclusion and listen to one side, and we don't understand what they're actually trying to do. And it's like I always say, it's like a cereal commercial. They tell you how great this cereal is. You've got to buy it. Your kids are going to love it. You go out and buy it. Your kid eats it. They spit it out and eat it.
Don't like it.
They try to manipulate you,
Yeah.
and we are constantly manipulated in life.
Yeah.
And we've got to have the restraint to pull back from what someone says
Yeah.
and not take it to heart.
Yeah. And you were there for Chef Mark?
Yeah.
Did it make you mad? Made me mad.
When we didn't get cheesecake?
No.
Or the stew.
The lies
Yeah.
that corporate
Oh, yeah.
America
Oh, yeah.
is
Oh, yeah.
foisting
Yeah.
upon us to
Yeah.
make a buck. They're poisoning us.
76% of carbs. That's ridiculous.
We need tons of protein and no
Yeah.
carbs, and it's
Yeah.
exactly the opposite. And he's got the science to back it up.
Yeah.
They'd be mad.
Yeah.
It's dishonest.
Well, look at children now, teenagers, that they have to go through this stuff that she was mentioning, and part of ours is somebody says something to them and they get all bent out of shape. I mean, some of these teenagers today, they commit suicide and everything else, but all because of things that are said or the way they take them. And we're too
They're mean
busy in life trying to tell everybody to watch what you say, and it's telling people how to deal with what is actually said. Because if we can control our own emotions, we won't have a problem.
Say out loud what you said to me, would you please?
Which one?
The life lesson
Oh,
changed your life. Listen to this, folks. You don't mind, I'm not putting you on the spot.
no, it's fine. I'm used to that. I was very hard on myself growing up, and I would never's a big word. I would avoid trying to project my problems on other people. But I had to learn to forgive myself. Jesus, when he died on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And Ellen White tells us that he was not just referring to the soldiers, but he was referring to the whole world. And so Jesus forgave the whole world on the cross, and if I refuse to forgive myself, then where am I placing myself but above God, and I'm committing sin by not forgiving myself. And I learned that just 2 or 3 years ago, and it changed my life.
And some of you needed to hear that. I have no idea who, but some of you needed to hear that. We get so down on ourselves. And you know what? Again, it's the lies right from the pit of you know where. I preached a sermon one time. I'm not a pastor, but I do my share of lay preaching. I preached a sermon. I called it Og or Nog. Og or Nog. Hold on, let me think if I can remember what that stands for. I said, for every thought that comes into that marvelous mind of yours, ask yourself, is that of God or not of God?
The devil's in their life.
And we get thoughts that are not of God on a regular basis. You don't have to admit that here. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you knew the thoughts that came into this mind, you would not be sitting in my workshop. I'll just leave it at that. You ever wonder who's in there?
Yes.
I had to tell my mom that. I said, Mom, just know that sometimes your thoughts are not your own. She said, thank God.
Yeah.
I say, because that's the it's
I mean, I get ridiculous, outrageous thoughts, and that's not me.
Yeah, that's not.
And I've gotten to where I don't condemn myself anymore. In fact, let me share this. You'll like this. Romans 7 is a beautiful portion of Scripture. That's where Paul, the greatest evangelist this world has ever known, says, I don't get it. I want to do good, but I don't do it. I don't want to do bad, but oy vey, he was Jewish after all. Oy vey, there I go, doing it.
I quote that one all the time.
What
Like,
is
what
the
I want to
matter?
do,
I hope you don't stop there, though. What is the matter with me? You know Romans 7. But he works through that, and he gets to what I think is one of the greatest verses in all of the Bible, Romans 8:1. I'll start it, you will do it with me. There is therefore now no condemnation for those that are in Christ Jesus. Will God Almighty correct us?
Yes.
Oh, please. Will he redirect us if we want to?
Yes.
Yes.
But never in a you dummy, you jerk, you idiot, what the blank's the matter with you? That is not how your Heavenly Father talks to you.
Amen.
And I just proved it to you.
Yep.
There's no condemnation. So if you're hearing that kind of voice in your mind, take it to the recycle bin and delete it as soon as you can. That is a nog.
Get away from me.
Then there's John 3,
John 3.
his sermon to Nicodemus. Jesus came to save the world, not to condemn the world.
Amen.
Again, correct? You bet. What was that part that you reminded me of? What are some of the benefits of empathic listening? Go ahead and write that in if you would. But what are some? Shout them out. Right there under the, after I did the lessons there.
Yeah, I
or
was
the,
going to ask you about that.
yeah.
Skip
What
that part.
are some benefits of listening empathically? Because it's not easy, by the way. It takes effort. It takes focus. It takes time. What are some of the benefits? Why should we do it?
Friends.
I'm sorry?
Friends.
You're going to be a friendlier person and you're going to have more friends. Yeah. What else?
Caring about the other person. Showing you care.
So, why should I do that?
You want to be a friend.
Because God loves everybody.
You can't love someone if you don't care about them.
Yeah. And you're going to be the kind of person that is going to honor your father, and you're going to be happier if you're doing that. Yes, ma'am.
We
And
want to
then
be a good ambassador for Jesus.
write that down. Ambassador for Jesus. Yes, ma'am. And then there.
I took a class from Derek Morris at Southern.
Oh, yeah?
The
Oh.
listening class.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. Good listening gets you past the surface. And if you listen well, you catch what they're really wanting to say. And they may not even realize that sometimes if you're really listening well, you'll realize what they're struggling with, what's going on, and you get way deeper than you ever would otherwise.
We're going to talk about that more tomorrow when we get into the effective speaking, but absolutely, we can help people clarify their thinking if we'll listen. In fact, let me give you one now. It's not in the deal, but it just came to my mind. Somebody's wrestling with a situation, and they want your help. They want you to help them think through something. say, why do you want that? Or why is that important to you? Ask a why question. Whatever they answer, say, well, why do you think that is? Whatever they answer, say, well, what do you think that might be based on? Or again, why is that important? It's called the 7 levels of why. You're digging deep below the surface, as I just heard. Now don't keep going, why? 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 You're going to get slapped.
That's what little tiny kids do.
But really, genuinely help the person, because they can probably answer their own questions. They don't need us. But they need us to maybe guide. Well, why do you think that? And a lot of times you're going to get, oh, that's why I've been doing that. Because such and such happened decades ago. That's why I still do what I do now. Yes?
These are things like life coaches do, because they don't tell you what to do.
Yep.
They help you find what
Yep.
you want to do, and that's how you really help
Yep.
somebody. You're
Yep.
helping them find the answers.
You give them the answer, then, yeah.
Right.
Help them know how to find their own answers. Absolutely good
Then
point.
it's theirs.
I'm sorry?
Then it's theirs.
Then it's theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going to own it. They're going to follow through. Absolutely. All right. What are some other benefits of listening? Yes, ma'am.
You might save them, and I mean that in like 2 ways. For one, people see Jesus through you, and I think everyone can agree that Jesus was a really good listener.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just listening shows how Jesus acted, and also I think someone mentioned suicide earlier. Sometimes people don't even know that they're struggling, and just having someone listen to them, that can help them solve issues that maybe would lead to suicide later.
Yeah.
And
And just the fact that somebody cares. Because so many people today think, well, nobody cares about me. So what difference does it make? Why don't I in my own mind?
We had a session yesterday morning in the church where they were talking about a lot of people that have addictions. It's because they don't have anybody that they think cares about them, or no one to talk to, no community.
Yeah, and it's an escape.
Yeah.
Escape the pain. Yes, ma'am.
I had a friend, she called me and she told me her cat got ran over. And the next day she told me her neighbor died. And the third day she told me that someone else died, and I asked her, I said, are you suicidal by any chance? She said yes.
Oh.
So when you hear too many death stories all in a row, it could mean something else. So
Well, were they true though? With those people, those did die?
Yeah, but your brain will pick
It
those
planted
stories
the thought,
all
yeah.
out.
You know, and you know I joke a lot. I'm not joking now. Suicide is contagious. I'm not joking at all. If somebody in your circle commits suicide, the odds of you committing suicide go up. I don't say you, but people in general. Suicide is contagious. It's a horrible thing. But again, it's the enemy whispering in our ears, and we don't recognize it, and we don't forgive ourselves. We don't love ourselves. We're not at peace with ourselves, so why not? Why not just end it? Who's going to care? Lie. Let's move on. We got to go. Filters that get in the way. Perceptions. We talked about that after lunch. If I perceive you in a certain way, if I perceive you as a good person, I'm going to treat you as a good person. If I perceive you as a bad person, I'm going to treat you as a bad person. It's not a matter of if you're a good person or a bad person. My perceptions are going to drive me. Watch out for perceptions. They'll get in the way of communication. So will inattention. My wife, bless her heart, she knows if she doesn't see both my ears, she might as well save her breath. Because I'm somewhere else. If she only sees one ear, I'm paying attention somewhere else. Emotional states. Again, there are times when we're upset about something, we're not going to be good listeners. Realize that. There's no shame in that. Just realize it. Beliefs and expectations. And style differences. Some people talk fast, some people talk slow. Some people hear fast, some people hear slow. There's all sorts of different style differences that if we're not careful can get in the way of effective communication. And that's a shame. That's a shame. What's next? Oh yes, self-protection. Ooh, that's a big one. That's a big one. There's a book. You want to read a book? Read The Bait of Satan. The Bait of Satan by John Bevere. I love to spell his name. B-E-V-E-R-E. John Bevere. B-E-V-E-R-E. Bevere.
B-E-V-E-R-E.
I am crucified with Christ. Therefore, I get to have things my way whenever I choose. It's not what it says, is it? I'm crucified with Christ. Therefore, I willingly give up my rights to have life my way. It's his way. It's none of my business where I go to church. It's none of my business. It's none of my business who I'm married to or not married to. It's none of my business where I work or don't work. It's if I am crucified with Christ, I give up those rights willingly. He gave up his life that I might live. You bet I'll give up my life that he might live in and through me. The bait of Satan is to take those rights back.
Yeah.
How dare you treat me that way? Don't you know who I am? Don't you know I have rights?
I
Get us in
deserve
trouble.
One of the big comments I hear is, "You deserve it. Take what you deserve. I deserve it." It's like, I don't
Deserve
know.
what? What's the
Like
context?
they're stealing something. You know, you deserve
Oh,
it.
yeah, you deserve the.
You know, like our church, we deserve the best.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. You know what Tony just put into my mind? Isn't that funny, too, how our memories, a thought can trigger a memory that I haven't heard in 30, 40 years. Brown University, Providence, Rhode Island. I don't say where I grew up. People say, where did you grow up? I say, I'm trying to do it in Farmington, New Mexico. But I started life in Rhode Island. Somebody took a brick with a note on it, threw it through the window of McDonald's. The note said, "You deserve a brick today." Your fault. You. Okay, we're listening. Hold on. Yes, ma'am.
Break. Deserve a break. Break.
You've been hurt so much that you have a wall.
Yeah.
That is not right.
Is it? Yeah, you're not alone. You're not alone.
And that wall prevents you from allowing people.
We put up the walls to protect us, and we need them. We need them at times, especially when we're young, we're vulnerable, we don't have other means. But after a while, if we don't take those walls down, you bet they'll keep other people out rather than protecting us. Yeah, no, you're not alone. Thank you for sharing that. You're not alone. All right, what are we doing? What can you do? You can recognize that all kind of filters become barriers to connection and openness. I think I gave you this, so you don't even have to write it in. You can take responsibility for understanding your filters, didn't I? Didn't I give you this?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
Don't argue about the past. I never argue about the past. You want to believe it was that way? Okay.
Okay.
What is it? Progressive Insurance that has, let's play the replay. Yeah, I mean, we can't do that. You believe it, you remember it differently than I do? Okay. You may be right. I'm not going to argue about it. I remember it how I remember it. That's all. Announce your filters when you know they're there. There's times I gotta tell my wife, sweetheart, I love you. I'm just not in the listening mood right now. I can't. In fact, I got time. I talk for a living. I'm either doing workshops or I'm meeting with clients. I talk for a living. When I get home, what's the last thing I want to do? She's a lovely person. She is. My wife and I have had 40 wonderful years of marriage together. We've been married 43, but we've had 41. She's a quiet person. She doesn't. She'll talk, but she doesn't talk. When I come home, what's the first thing she wants to do?
Talk.
Do you see a problem here?
Yeah.
And it was. For quite a while, it was a problem because I'm home, I'm talked out. She wants to talk. And finally, I said to her, I said, sweetheart, here's the deal. When I come home, I'm talked out. Can I have 15 minutes? Can I have a half an hour? I'll come home, I'll hug you, I love you. But can I just have my own time to take a nap, read the paper, watch the news, chill, whatever? And then I'm ready to talk.
Then do you go back to her with the time? I'm ready now? Remember in the talk you said, calls out.
Yeah.
To come back
You
in.
call the time
Since
out,
I
you
was
gotta call
calling
the
the time
time
out.
in.
And I did, yeah, all right, honey, how was your day?
You gotta call the time in.
But I can't talk right then. I need that transition time, and there's nothing wrong with that. Figure out what works for you Announce your filters if
And I
you
have
know
one
that.
question about that. Okay, you put the time out, and then you act on that. Now I'm ready, or whatever. You ask the question.
Time
What
back in.
happens if the husband just forgets about it? Because it's like no big deal anymore.
He forgot
like
all
he
about it.
doesn't feel like talking, and so he forgets the time out and doesn't come back. So how do you reel him back in?
That's not even important.
You gently remind him.
Is
But I'll
time
tell
out
you
your
this
time
too.
out yet?
I'll tell you this too. My wife and I have a 9 o'clock timeout rule. Across the board. Timeout. 9 o'clock. If it gets to be 9 o'clock, we're tired, we're not at our best, we shut it down. Now some of you are thinking, well, don't let the sun go down on your anger.
That's right.
The sun's already down by 9 o'clock. But I'm telling you right now, and this may be close to what you just said, it's incredible how many times I wake up in the morning going, what was that all about?
Yeah, the guys are like that, but women still remember. We want to discuss it.
then you
It
say-
needs to be discussed
We need to talk
Yep.
about
and
it.
taken care of
Yep.
so it doesn't happen again.
Exactly right. So then you can gently say, hey, when were you planning on calling the time in, dear?
Yeah.
Because you're right, men might forget. It's not a big deal. If it's not a big deal to them, they might honestly. So your first assumption is, I bet he forgot. I'm going to gently, honey, when's your idea of when we'll have that talk?
Well, the other thing is, if I'm at fault, I want to apologize. And then when I do apologize, you're like, it's been fine.
Yeah.
It's been bothering me, and I want to apologize. So you guys are you're able to just
Shut it off.
forget
Yeah.
it. But we women have to just make it right.
I am not going there. It is. You were a great group. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, effective speaking, because listening's going to be part of it. We got all that. Thank you. Get out of here. Thank you all.
What comes after this? And then-
What's that again? No, it's on humor, fun, and laughter.
How are you doing?
Doing okay?
Good. You can. Okay, good.
Get to listen much of the time. If you need a break, that's fine. A lot of time on your hands.
So down at the ad building, you run the student. I hope I didn't make too much noise.
Institute for Biblical Peacemakers. Go to that website sometime. It's biblicalpeacemakers.org. A buddy of mine, Charlie Brown.
More people.
We right there. Look at that, right for you. Hello, right. Charlie Brown and I have partnered together. I think I mentioned it earlier, but we want to equip Seventh-day Adventists to be peacemakers, to be mediators in interpersonal disputes, but also church interveners. If a church is in danger of splitting, let's not let that happen. Let's have people ready in every conference, ready to go in and help bring them to a better place. And he's been doing it for 20 years. He's training me how to do it. And I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. So anyway, what are we doing? Laughter truly is a great medicine. Okay. If you haven't turned your cell phone off yet, by the way, let me give you a hint. If your cell phone ever goes off in church, do what I do. As you're reaching to shut it off.
Look around.
Yeah. Whose phone is that?
That's not their false witness.
This is not a Christian sign. Obviously, to succeed in life, you need Christ. Hello. But you also need a wishbone, a backbone, and the average preschooler laughs or smiles how many times a day?
Over 100. 300. 400.
I was driving down the road. Let me give you the whole slide. Adults, only 50. Driving down the road one day, listening to Christian radio in my town of Farmington, New Mexico. Here's today's trivia question. Children do this 300 or 400 times a day. Adults less than 12. What is it? I grabbed the phone I said, it's gotta be laugh. They said, you won.
Wow.
Yeah, I want a chicken sandwich. The laugh was on me. Didn't you love that humanitarian line, by the way? Those
Yes.
of you who heard that? Cannibals are humanitarian. I don't know where I got that, but I love that line. Hi there. Make yourself at home. Oh yeah, right. See, look at that. Huh? You got timing. Isn't that a shame? That's why people say, where did you grow up? I say, I'm trying to do it in Farmington, New Mexico. I don't ever want to grow up. I want to be an adult. I'll be right back with you. I want to be an adult. I want to be mature. I want to be responsible for myself. But once you've grown up, then what? Yes, ma'am.
May I borrow your pen?
My pen?
I'll give it back to you.
My $50 pen?
I should have won't keep it.
Okay. That right there is a shame. It's a shame. People think they smile. Research says only 35% of the time. And by the way, if you were taking notes, you want to just get your cameras out, take pictures of the slides. Or if you want these slides, send me an email. I'll send you the slides. How's that?
Okay.
Will that be good? All right, send me an email. Our price at Biblical Peacemakers, and I'll just send you the slides. Only 35% of the time. Oh, smiling is huge. Do an experiment. I'll be in the airport. I'm flying home, I don't know, in a couple weeks. Next time you're in an airport or the mall or any place, take 30 seconds as you're walking along, make eye contact with people and smile. What are they going to do?
Smile back.
Smile back. Then take 30 seconds and frown. They're going to frown back at you.
Is it, what did you say it was? Ron Price? Our Price?
Our
at
price at
Biblical-
Biblical. Yeah, it should be on the bottom of the. It should be on the bottom.
Yeah, on the bottom of it.
Isn't it?
Dot
Our
org,
price at
okay, that's what I was
biblicalpeacemaker.org?
Org.
All right. And that goes for the last workshop too. If you need that PowerPoint, let me know. I got to figure out how to do that, but it's supposed to be easy. Laughter releases endorphins, a chemical 10 times more powerful than the pain-relieving drug morphine. I had a synthetic ligament put in my knee several years ago. I got to be a big fan of morphine. That's a good thing. I don't know who Mr. Moore is, but his morphine is with the same exhilarating effect as doing strenuous exercise. Laughter.
Also, it increases intrathoracic pressure and you know the hair-like cilia
Yeah.
in your lungs. They're supposed to sweep up the mucus and stuff. That that improves that clearing out of the insides of your lungs.
Isn't that something? Isn't that something?
It's really
Anybody
true.
know the name Norman Cousins? I bet you don't. He was the publisher of the New Yorker magazine, I think, wasn't it? Or was it the New Yorker? He had a disease, amylosing spondiosis. I'm close. Do you know what that is?
Curvature of the joints.
Your body
is
becomes cement.
Norman.
You lose the ability to bend. And they told him, do you want to spend your life in a sitting position or a horizontal? And he said, no. I've heard somewhere that laughter's a good medicine. He's not a Christian as far as I know. But he said, I'm going to laugh myself back to health. And he got with the doctor. He took exorbitant amounts of vitamin C. It wasn't just laughter. But he got old Marx Brothers movies and old Candid cameras. And he laughed, and he laughed, and he laughed himself right back to health.
Wow.
He wrote the book,
Wow.
Anatomy of an Illness.
Wow.
Who's the person again?
Norman Cousins. Norman Cousins. There's a movie about it. Stars Ed Asner.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to show you that laughter's healthy, and then I'm going to get you healthy. Every time you have a good hearty laugh, you burn up 3.5 calories. How's that for a diet program? And that's what it's going to be, by the way. It's not. I'm looking at you people.
And then you cough up phlegm.
Yeah, phlegm, spreading phlegm all over the place.
You clear yourself.
It gets everybody else sick, but it's good for you. Laughing increases oxygen intake,
Yeah.
thereby replenishing and invigorating cells, increases the pain threshold, boosts immunity, Relieve stress. Are you getting the picture here? That when God said laughter is a good medicine, he knew what he was talking about. He invented it. Got it? What else can laughter do? Can lower your blood pressure. Now, if you're on blood pressure medication, don't you dare say, "Oh, Ron said I can laugh and go off my blood pressure." But here's what I'd love you to do: go to your doctor, get a baseline. Where's your blood pressure now? And then, focus on laughing more. Make it a priority in your life for the next month, 3 months, whatever, 6 months, and then go back and get your blood pressure checked and see if it doesn't make a difference.
That's the way to do it.
What else can laughter do? It can reduce certain stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline. We need those, but if they're in excess, we're going to have problems. Laughter can reduce them. What else can laughter do? Here we go. Give a workout to the diaphragm, abdominal, respiratory, facial, leg, and back muscles. Man, laughter's good stuff, isn't it?
It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile.
More muscles to frown than it does to smile. Laughter can increase the response of tumor and disease-killing cells such as gamma interferon and T cells. It defends against respiratory infections, even reducing the frequency of colds by immunoglobulin in the saliva. That. Look at all these people taking pictures. Got it? All right. What else can laughter do? Increase memory and learning. In a study at Johns Hopkins University, humor during instruction led to increased test scores. They took a group of people, I don't know if it was this study, but I heard of a study. They took a group of people, they said, go in that room, you'll see some articles there, put them together in whatever form or fashion makes sense to you. They took another group, they said, you come with us. They got them laughing for 15 minutes. Then they said, all right, go in that room, you'll find materials, put them together, and they did it in like half the time. I may be off on the exact statistics, but I'm telling you, by laughing first, they were able to be much more creative and thinking better. I got a pet theory. I'd love our schools to try it. Before the big exams, the standard exams, I'm serious, have a period of laughter. What do we got to lose? It might just, I don't know, improves alertness, creativity, memory. Am I making the case?
Yeah.
Am I making the case that laughter is good medicine? I think so. Okay. Laughter's the best medicine. Now, a disclaimer. Come on, folks. Don't, if you got medical conditions, I'm not Dr. Ron saying, oh, just laugh and everything will be fine. Come on. But why not add laughter to whatever treatment regimen you're on right now? Why not? And some of you may not know what laughter is. It is contagious.
Yes, listen to a baby laugh.
It's sometimes hard to stop. Oh, yeah, wait for this.
Baby's laugh is fun.
Oh, are we not going to have sound? Oh, come on. You got to have sound. Oh. Where's my tech person? All right, here's what we're going to do.
Because there's speakers up here, so there might be a plug that connects to that.
Oh, I'll let you look at that for a moment. You got to hear this. If you don't hear it, it's no good. So if not, we're going to disconnect it, and I'm just going to play from my laptop.
Because you can't not laugh. I've had
Right.
my phone, and these little babies, it's just hilarious.
It is.
It's just,
And you
just
can
think about it, you should laugh.
Babies and kittens.
And it's a belly laugh.
I got my sound thing on the
I'm not
left.
finding it immediately, so maybe you should just.
All right, let's do this.
You can ask them for tomorrow because you have some things that you're an expert, so.
All right, let's do this. Turn the volume way up. Hopefully this is going to work. Oh, wait. Wait. Don't go away. We're going to figure this out.
You're not gonna be able to put it on the screen because we've unplugged.
I don't think I'm going to be able to put it on the screen.
No, yeah, no. Hold it up.
But it's all right. If you hear it, it's better.
Yeah. See, we're already laughing about it because we're never going to laugh. It's going to be funny.
Do we want to turn the lights off for a minute?
Yes.
Can you see it?
No.
Get it down a little bit. Yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
barely.
Okay. Solemn occasion, marriage. He says, I'm not going to put it on the wrong way. You'll be able to hear the important part. I, Andrew Paul Daniel Engstrom, do take Melissa Renee Warren to be my lawfully
and pancaking.
She's laughing.
Waffles.
Yes. She's laughing. Why is that funny?
She's laughing so hard.
She's falling over laughing.
I know.
Just give her a second.
They're all serious.
Oh my goodness.
Free, free, just stand there.
All right, that's enough. Let's go with the life. That's called Waffly Wedded Wife. And I'm like you, right? If you can watch babies laughing, if you can watch babies laughing and not laugh yourself,
Waffly wedded wife.
Waffly wedded wife. Waffly. Like woefully.
oh, that's just too funny. Waffly Wedded Wife. And ladies, help me with this. Is that not just nervous tension coming out? Yeah.
Well, even
Big
the
time.
mistake was that.
I'm sorry?
Even the mistake was that.
Oh, yeah. Well, the mistake on his part, yeah, it could have been. Could have been.
She's falling over.
Waffly Wedded Wife. And again, you can humor me. Do it right now. Give me your best laugh right now. That's enough. Come on. We can do that. We can do that. And in fact, I am certifiable, but I am a certified laugh leader. There's a guy in Illinois, Steve Wilson. I got certified as a laugh leader. He's got laughter clubs, and I don't do that part. But he has people who come together, and they've got a lawnmower laugh, and I oh yeah, they just get together and they laugh, and I didn't realize that's what it was, but anyway, but we can laugh more, and we'll be glad we did. All right, let's see what's going on. The wedding vows. Laughter can be found in so many ways and from so many sources. Video. Oh, we're not going to hear this one either.
Very good. Plug it again.
No, you'll get this one. I can narrate this one. This is two pretty Japanese tourists. They're going to ask people to take their picture. Well, wait a minute. Who are these guys?
Oh, yeah.
Turn one of these lights off, Dick, if you would, please. Hi there, miss. We're going to go across the way there. Would you just take our picture, please? Yeah, that's good. Thank you. All right, take the Polaroid picture. And wait a minute, who are these guys? That's what he wants to know. And then they go, no, that's us. Look, that's us. What? Now they show you how they do it. The girls get in the van, these guys pop up, and there they are.
We have two more people that came in. Can we put them somewhere?
Put them somewhere.
Somewhere.
Now this next lady is going to go in for therapy. This lady is going in for therapy, I promise. Watch her look. Watch her face.
You think you're losing your mind?
I got to tell you something. This is is called Gags TV. They're out of Canada. Be careful with them. We're going to show one more, so leave the lights off. Sometimes they get risque. You don't want to be just showing them willy-nilly at church. Some of them are absolutely hysterical. One that you won't like it, maybe. Again, and some would say it's disrespectful, it's irreverent, but they got this water fountain in a park. And they got a guy who comes by looking like he's Jesus. He goes like this, and all of a sudden the water turns red. And they got a guy underneath who's pumping red water through it. Again, is that making fun of our Lord? I think Jesus would get a laugh out of that. The Jesus that I serve would laugh at that. It's not making fun of him. But some of them are just hysterical. Some of them are risque. Here's another one that I think is funny. Hey, you, come here. We're gonna have a piñata. You wanna hit that piñata? Yeah, come on. Well, we're gonna blindfold you. You're a big burly guy. We can't let you see the piñata. That's not right. Okay, you can't see anything? Good, because we're gonna take the piñata right out of there. Turn you around.
Oh no.
And the only sound on this is this guy goes, "Oh!" Oh! Now, one church tried to explain, well, there was a piñata here. Honest, there was.
She said, what happened?
You can get the lights.
Dramatic, baby. Show them, explain it.
Oh yeah, and it's a lot like Candid Camera. How many remember Candid Camera? With fond memories? I've been watching Candid Camera lately. They're all over YouTube. They're all over YouTube. And again, Candid Camera towards the end, to my taste, got a little bit, come on, you know. But some of those old Candid Cameras, oh, they were hysterical. Guys at the laundromat, and he takes his sheets out of the laundromat, and all of a sudden they get pulled back in or out of the dryer. And so he's having a tug of war. Or the car with the no engine, some of you remember that one? Some of those were funny.
What about the newspaper comics? Remember how funny they were before? And now you hardly get a laugh.
I know, I don't read them anymore.
It's sad.
I know, it is sad. It is sad. It is sad. Videos. Clean and appropriate jokes. Now be careful. Ellen White says avoid coarse humor or just trying to be funny, just trying to be funny. And so some people say, oh, that means she didn't want us laughing at all. I don't believe that for a second.
No, absolutely not.
Pastor called on one of his church members. He knew she was home, so he knocked on the door. She didn't answer the door, so he knocked again because he knew she was home. When she didn't answer that door that second time, he got a little upset. Pastors can do that once in a while. Took out his business card and he wrote on it, Revelation 3:20, stuck it in the door and walked off. Well, a little while later, the lady comes to the door. She sees the card there, Revelation 3:20. Well, she knows her Bible, but not every verse. She opens up and reads, Behold, I heard your voice. No, if anyone will, behold, I stand at the door and knock. Thank you. I don't know my Bible. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone will open the door, I'll come in and sup with them. Okay, the next week he finds his business card in the stop it. Somebody just looked up Genesis 3:10, and that's what the pastor had to do, because his business card had Revelation 3:20 crossed off. Now it said Genesis 3:10, which reads,
I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked.
Behold, I heard your voice, but I was naked, so I hid myself. I heard Barbara Bush tell that joke. I happened to be on the school board, a big school board convention. Barbara Bush told that joke. How about this one? Pastor is riding along on a train with a rocket scientist. And after a while, the rocket scientist said, I'm bored. And the poet said, me too. And the rocket scientist said, well, you want to play a game? Pastor said, what do you have in mind? Pastor, the rocket scientist says, well, how about this? How about if I ask you a question, if you can't answer it, you pay me $5, and then you ask me a question, if I can't answer, I'll pay you $5. And the pastor thinks, a pastor against a rocket scientist and a knowledgeable? I don't think so. So the rocket scientist says, all right, I'll sweeten the deal. You ask me, I'll ask you a question. If you can't answer it, you pay me $5. You ask me a question. If I can't answer it, it's a shameful language here. If I can't answer it, I'll pay you $50. The pastor says, I may not be a genius, but I'm not a fool either. You're on, you go first. So the rocket scientist says, all right, how far is it from the earth to the sun? Oh, the pastor knows. He starts searching his memory banks because he knows if he didn't skip school that day, he's heard that at some point in his educational career. But he searches and searches and searches, and the answer doesn't come. He takes out a $5 bill, hands it to the rocket scientist, says, man, you got me? I don't know. Rocket scientist said, well, thank you very much. And by the way, it happens to be, like I skipped school that day. 90,200,000 miles. The rocket scientist, the pastor then says, okay, now it's my turn. Come on in. He says, now it's my turn. He turns to the rocket scientist and he asks him, what animal went up the mountain on 3 legs and came down on 4? The rocket scientist is beside himself. He's never heard such a question. He searches and searches and searches his memory banks. Nothing comes. Takes out a $50 bill, hands it to the pastor, and says, man, you got me? I don't know. Pastor says, well, thank you very much. Rocket scientist says, wait a minute. What animal went up the mountain on 3 legs and came down on 4? Pastor takes out a $5 bill and says, man, you got me? I don't know. One more. Just heard this one. Brother Mervyn Maxwell apparently used this at a graduation at PUC. I just heard that. I don't know that it's true, but I heard it. There's a big exam, like an SAT, and a room full of kids and one proctor. And after a while, the proctor says, okay, time's up, put your pens down and turn in your paper. So everybody puts their pens down and turns in their paper, except one kid. One kid keeps writing. Proctor sees him, he says, I said, time's up, put your pen down, turn your paper in. The kid keeps writing. Proctor's getting mad. He said, I'm telling you, time is up, get that paper up here. Kid keeps writing. Look a minute. He comes up, tries to hand him the paper. The proctor says, I am not accepting your paper. I told you 3 times the time was up, and you kept writing. I am not accepting your paper. Kid says, sir, do you know who I am? Proctor said, no. Do you know who my father is? Proctor said, no. The kid said, good. He grabbed the stack of papers, put his in the middle, and ran out the door. That's just flat out funny. Wow. And again, there's so many more. Now again, keep them clean, and when in doubt, leave it out. If you're going to be making fun of people or derogatory, I mean, come on, there's a lot of humor out there that we as Christians, I personally believe, we should not be engaging in at all. But things like that, they're just, you decide what you want to do with that. Signs. Oh, I got some signs I want to share with you. Please remove child before washing. That's just good advice. Or how about this one? Caution, please be aware that the balcony is not on the ground level. Okay, I'm glad you shared that with me. How about our public bar is presently not open because it's closed?
That makes sense.
It's an effective sign. It leaves no doubt whatsoever. Now, I'm not opposed. Some of us learn differently. Some of us need tutoring. I just think you ought to spell tutoring if you want to be a tutor.
Oh, yeah.
Is that not
There you go.
a great picture? That is my. Those animals are looking at us. And they're just laughing. I love it. I love it. Oh, yourself. Yourself. Anybody know what that is?
Oh.
The glass bottle.
Grand Canyon.
It's not part of the Grand Canyon National Park. It's on the Havasupai Reservation, I believe it is. They built this thing, and I think it's like $100 or something. This is all glass.
Wow.
And you walk out there over the edge. I do not have the courage to do that. I will hike the Grand Canyon. I found out my wife wants to ride the Grand Canyon. You know, if you're ever at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, a ranger told me this one time. If you ever, there's 2 ways to get down to the Grand Canyon. It's a Phantom Ranch. You can either hike down or you can ride down. Well, I knew that. But what he told me, what I didn't know is if you're ever at Phantom Ranch, you can instantly tell how people got there. Instantly. Because those who hike down can't stand up, and those who rode down.
That's scary.
I hiked the Grand Canyon several years ago. I'm near there, so it's easy for me
See,
to
you're
do.
coughing up the phlegm because you're laughing.
That's right. This particular trip, we went down the Hermit Trail, which you're ever going to hike the Grand Canyon. Hermit Trail is the best trail. Oh, it's a great trail. I mean, it's hard, but it's nothing. And we went over to Monument. We camped there. We day hiked down to the river. Oh, I won't get off on that, but one of the highlights of my life, day hiking down to the river in Granite Rapids. Oh, anyway, I digress. The next day we hiked over to Salt, something I think it's called, and the next day, so it was like a 4-day trip or something. And we got up to the top, and we drive over to the showers. And I remembered that the showers took quarters. But I didn't know how many. I forgot how many. So I got like $5 worth of quarters. When you come out of the Grand Canyon, you stink. There's no polite way to say it. You stink. You're tired, you're sore, and you stink. And so we drive over to the showers, and my buddy Randy and I, it was Randy, my boss Don, and I. Randy and I go into the showers. Don, he may be like some of you. He's a neat freak. He wants to put things away. I said, you're crazy. I'm going in. And so I put in my 50 cents. At that time, 50 cents lasted 5 minutes. Now it's $2.50, but this was some years ago. And I put in 50 cents, and it felt so good. I put in another 50 cents. I was, it felt so good. And I'm bent over, and the water's hitting my back. And just then I see Don's legs in the next stall. He had come in while I was showering. And I was just in such a playful mood. I had just come out of the Grand Canyon. I just reached under and I pinched him. He didn't say anything. That's all right. And then 30 seconds later he calls out, hey, Randy, do you want your keys? We were in Randy's vehicle. And I knew 2 things right off the bat. Number 1, it was indeed Don's voice. Number 2, it was not coming. On that next stall. And I tell that story, and people say, well, who was it? I didn't stick around to find out. I set the Guinness World Record for shutting off a shower, dressing, getting out of there. Who's going to be brave? Let us laugh with you, not at you. You all have embarrassing moments. I already told you about cooking a plastic thing of chocolate chip cookies on the burner, for crying out loud. What do you got?
Okay, so when I was a teenager, we went on a church campout. And not being a physicist at the time, I decided that the best way to have supper ready when we got back from hiking would be to take 2 cans of Vegelinks and wrap them in aluminum foil and put them in the campfire.
Yeah, the cans still sealed.
Yeah. So when we got back,
Oh no.
our parents thankfully were at another campfire a little ways away, but they heard a cannon go off. When we came back, there were little bits of Vegelinks in the blankets all over, and holes burned in the blankets.
In the chairs?
In the chairs, yeah.
Oh, my.
It was a miracle nobody was hurt, but I left. But, my friend said, oh, I thought about that.
Now you tell me.
Thank you. And I'm going to suggest, by the way, tomorrow and the next days, we're going to be talking about church socials, about different ideas. I put out emails saying, hey, I'm doing this workshop. I need ideas. What socials have you been to? And I got a bunch of good ideas that I never would have thought of. We're going to be talking about, and that's one of them. Just share embarrassing moments so we can laugh with you. Nobody's laughing at you for that because any of us could have done that. Who else? One more. What do you got?
At work one day, a Hispanic guy came walking into my office. He worked there, and I said, "Aloha," and he said, "What?" So I'm practicing my
Did you hear that? By the way, a
Spanish.
Spanish guy walked in and she said, "Aloha."
He said, I said, "I'm practicing my Spanish." He goes, "I think that would be Ola."
To go with that.
Go ahead.
I'm a retired nurse right now, but anyway, a nurse was trying to help us with Hispanic patients. And so we had a list, a guide. How are you? My name is whatever. And so this particular one, I wanted to know if she was hungry. So, how do you say,
Hombre?
Hombre, yes, hombre.
Not hombre.
Yes, I said, necesito hombre?
You need a man?
Are you a man?
I gotta go next. And then it's yours. I took Spanish with, I gotta tell you that one too. I'll tell you that one too. And then you're next, I promise. Lock it in. Oh yeah, go ahead, go next.
I was getting off the plane once, and the stewardess, she had such a funny laugh. So I said real loud, "Do that again, can you?" And she started laughing so hard, about 20 of us, we couldn't quit.
There you go. Oh, this is good. The funniest I've ever laughed, maybe, I don't know about my life, Pink Panther movies. Steve Martin. Steve Martin, somebody stole the Pope's ring. Somebody stole the Pope's ring. So Steve Martin is in the Pope's bedroom, sitting on the Pope's bed, and he turns to the Pope and he says, "So, Mr. Pope, where was Mrs. Pope when your ring was stolen?" I laughed for 5 minutes. Every time the movie's going on, I'm still laughing. All right, come on. You give me some more. My mother-in-law died September of 22, and I am so glad. I am so glad.
Your mother-in-law?
Yeah. She was born on the day of disappointment, the year that Ellen White died. How old was she?
1823.
No, the year that Ellen White died.
Oh, so that was 1850.
1950. She was 27 days shy of 107. So when I'm saying I'm glad that she's passed on, come on. But she had asked me to do her funeral, which I've done. Again, I'm not a pastor, but I've done my share of memorial. I love it. I so enjoy it. You help the person come alive again, just for an hour. And so I got up and I said, folks, thank you for coming. On behalf of the family, it means so much, showing your care, and thank you for coming. I said, I want to start off by telling a story about these two brothers who were horrible human beings. Horrible human beings. Vile, evil, despicable, but they had a lot of money. And one of them died. And their surviving brother called the local pastor, said, I want you to preach my brother's funeral, and if you'll say he was a saint, I'll give your church $100,000. Pastor goes, whoa, we can do a lot of good with $100,000, but I'm going to say this guy was a saint. He still let me pray about it. Pastor calls him back the next day, says, I'll do it. You'll do what? I'll preach your brother's funeral. And you'll say he was a saint? I'll say he was a saint. And you'll give us $100,000? Yep. I said, I will. Okay, so it comes time for the funeral. Pastor gets up. He says, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to bury a horrible human being. He was vile. He was evil. He was despicable. But you know what? Compared to his brother, he was a saint.
I've heard that one.
have a similar one, but I don't know if you have time for it anymore. Has anybody heard the one about the pastor and the lawyer and the accountant?
That died and went to heaven?
No.
Oh.
No, it's not that.
Okay.
There was a wealthy man who was dying, and he called his most important people to him. You've heard that one.
Yeah, got it.
And he's dying, and he calls his pastor and his lawyer and his accountant to his bedside, and he said, "When I die, I want to be able to take it with me, and so what I would like you to do, and I've given you these packets, and each one has $100,000 of cash in it. And what I'd like you to do is when they lower me into the grave, I want each of you to throw your packet in." And they all vowed, yes, we will definitely do that for you. And so the day of the funeral comes, and as they're lowering the casket into the ground, each man throws their packet in. And as they were walking away, they said, the pastor admitted that, well, you know, we were building a church and we needed $15,000 to complete it, so I only put in $85,000 and kept $15,000 for a worthy project. And so he admitted to that. And then the lawyer said, well, you know, we were building a boys' home, a boys' club, and we needed $50,000 to complete that project, so we kept out $50,000 for that worthy project, and I threw in $50,000 for that. And the accountant said, "Boy, don't you guys know anything? I threw in a check for the full amount."
I like that better than the way I heard it. So
the wife and her husband. Is that right? Where she was supposed to put her husband's money and the same concept.
Okay, put a check.
Yeah.
So
and you put a check
the
there.
Spanish reminds me of the time I took Spanish with that mother-in-law that I was just telling you about. Conversational Spanish, just 1 night a week. And I came home one night and I looked at my lovely bride and I said, "Oh, my precious Guajolote, how nice to see you." Oh, there are some Spanish speakers in the room. Hush.
Yeah.
And she said, "What does that mean?" I said, "Oh, it's just my new term of endearment for you. You are my Guajolote." Ronald Mitchell, what does that mean? "Sweetheart, don't trouble your pretty head. Just know that you're my Guajolote." Well, finally she realizes she's not going to get it out of me. She calls her mom. She says, "What's Guajolote mean?" Mom says, "Why?" "Because my husband's been calling me that ever since he got home." Mom says, "Well, I'll look it up." They sent us home with a sheet of list of words.
No.
Mom comes back to the phone and says, "Hit him, it means turkey." Or is it water dog? Some dialects I've heard water dog. But the moral of that story, by the way, is don't take Spanish with your mother-in-law.
And make sure your list is correct before you use it.
Yeah. What time are we done?
5.
5, okay.
4 to
I have
5.
no idea what's next.
4 to 5.
Laughter is a direct result of humor and fun, which are vital to relationships at home, at work, and at church. Humor is anything that causes amusement, anything that helps the time to pass more pleasantly. That's Andrew Tarvin, 501 Ways to Use Humor. And if you'll just Google humor and fun and laughter in the church, in the family, we don't pay attention to it. Just like listening, we don't pay attention. We could be better listeners, every one of us, if we would pay attention to it. Truth or not? We could all have more humor in our lives if we make it a focus. Not the main focus, come on, but a focus. And as Christians, man, I get bummed out by long-faced Christians. Not my place to judge, but they're missing something. The joy of the Lord is my strength.
Amen.
Humor is all about adding levity and raising the spirits of those around you. Who knows Taylor Mason? Do you know Taylor Mason?
Ventriloquist?
Yeah. Yeah. Is he funny?
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
Don't take a picture yet, but get your cameras ready. I'm going to show you 5. Taylor Mason is a wonderful ventriloquist, Christian man, totally clean, He's got Romeo, you remember Romeo? He's got Paco, his attorney, the pig. He's got...
I'm going to stare at that man.
I'm going to stare at that man, yes. He does the thing with Gaither. Did you ever see the one with Bill Gaither?
No.
Oh, yeah, Google that. Google Taylor Mason and Gaither. He's hysterical. And he plays the piano. Did you ever see him play the piano? He plays the piano like I play the radio. And I'm going to tell you right now, I play the radio very, very well. He's hysterical. And he's got all these different puppets. You see the one with Brown, the guy from UPS, where he's got the mask on him? Oh, Taylor Mason and Brown. Oh. I'm telling you, you watch Taylor Mason. If you don't laugh, I'll pay for your therapy.
You Google Taylor Mason?
Taylor Mason. Taylor Mason. Yep. How about Jeff Allen?
Yeah.
Anybody know Jeff Allen? Funny? Yeah.
They're on the Thou Shalt Laugh DVDs. Thou Shalt Laugh.
Yep. And the Dry Bar Comedy is, I don't know what that is, but he's on that too. Jeff Allen, watch his testimony sometime. He was a raging alcoholic, a rotten guy. His words. Christ got a hold of his heart. Now he just pokes fun at life. He does it in such a... He's just hysterical.
Amen.
He just is. Jeff Allen. And again, clean. I'm not telling you. There's some people that I think might be funny. I'm not going to recommend them. Because I got a witness that I have to be concerned about. And I'm not going to recommend unless I know, I would watch these. I would play these in church. Who knows that name?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Jesus on the main?
Yeah.
Tell him what you want. He starts taking his shoes off. I don't know how many times I've seen it. It still cracks me up. Mark Lowry's a funny man. I went to a Gaither homecoming in Albuquerque, New Mexico 10 years ago. And at one point he goes up to Bill Gaither. He says, well, Bill Gaither, how old are you anyway? And Bill says, well, Mark, I'm 39 and holding. And Mark Lowry says, well, Bill, how old would you be if you let go? Isn't that a great line? Why did I think of that? How old would you be if you let go? I'm telling you. Can the camera go on YouTube? Don't be watching. You know what? This is me preaching now, so you don't have to listen. We have a society that's 24-hour news or crime. Mm-hmm. And you women, by the way.
Stereotyping.
Women seem to love crime dramas.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we do.
Huh? I hope not, but I'm serious. You look at the media. It's news and crime. And we wonder why we have so much depression. We wonder why we have so many people giving up and saying, forget it, I don't want to do it anymore. Why not? Why not go to YouTube and just watch comedy? By the way, this isn't so much comedy, but you will laugh. The Kendrick brothers, they started with Flywheel. Who's seen Flywheel? You like it?
Yeah.
You know, they made it for $20,000. It's the worst movie you're ever going to see. And you're going to love it. They had 2 cameras. This is a church in Albany, Georgia. They made a movie, Flywheel. Flywheel. I'll tell you what it's about. I'll tell you what it's about. Flywheel. It's and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Used car salesman. Used car salesman loves to rip people off. That's his joy. A stereotypical used car salesman. And one day he rips off his own pastor. He's not a Christian, but he's a pew sitter. You know what I'm talking about. And so he sells his pastor a car and rips him off. But the pastor doesn't know it. So the pastor says, oh, young man, I am so happy. I'm joyful right now. I want to pray. And the pastor says, sure, God, pray. And so the pastor said, oh, Lord, thank you for this wonderful day. Thank you for this vehicle I now own. Thank you for this salesman. Father, would you please treat him exactly the way he treated me? And the guy goes, what? And then the movie unfolds from there. And isn't it just delightful? And you'll laugh. These guys, Alex and Stephen Kendrick, have the ability, if they're going to nail you, they'll soften you up first, and then, boom, look out. Courageous.
Oh, yeah.
Or fireproof. Or they'll nail you, and then they'll give you some comic relief afterwards. So here's the movies. Here are the movies. Flywheel, Facing the Giants.
Yes.
They made for $100,000, and they grossed $10 million. I mean, these folks are God blessed. I promise.
Is that about football?
It's football.
I think
Yep.
I've seen that.
Yep.
Yeah, so good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Facing the Giants. Then they made Fireproof.
That's awfully good.
And Fireproof is a professional quality. The reason, I don't know why I'm off on this, but they wanted to use a song by somebody. Sony Pictures had the rights to the song, and they said, hey, can we use your song in the movie? And they said, no, that's not how it works. You send us the script. If we like your script, we'll let you use our song. If we don't like your script, you're not using our song. And that's good common sense, good business sense. So they sent them the script. Sony Pictures, Provident, which is the Christian arm of Sony, gets back at them and say, can we help you? No, I'm serious. We love your script. Would you like our help? And they said, yeah. And so Fireproof, you don't know that it's a Hollywood quality movie.
But it's a religious movie. It's really good.
Oh,
It's
Fireproof.
excellent.
Who has seen Fireproof?
Kirk Cameron.
Who has seen it?
Tomato
Yeah.
juice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Huh?
good.
Tomato juice.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
remember
some
the hot
juice
sauce and the.
Hot sauce and tomato juice.
I don't remember. I've seen the movie 6 times. I don't remember.
In the fire station, they chug it. He chugs.
Oh, yeah. And he goes running out of the room. Yeah, that guy that's into the stud. He's yeah. All right, I remember that.
And they really did that.
Huh?
When I read about it, they really did that.
Oh, they
So
did.
the guy really did.
Oh my! He thought it was tomato juice and
Yeah.
he downed hot sauce.
What was it?
Yeah, we have that movie.
What was it called?
That's Fireproof.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have that movie.
And then my personal favorite is Courageous, about the deputy sheriffs. There are parts of that are hysterical. There are parts of that, if they don't break your heart,
Yeah.
your wood's wet or whatever. I mean, there's
4 or 5 men, and then there.
4 dads.
Yes.
4 dads that make a commitment to
Yeah.
fatherhood.
There's a lot of good religious movies
Courageous.
out there now.
But there's some scenes in that are just, and he's in the back seat talking Spanish. He's the head of the Snake King.
Oh yeah, yes.
Get me out of here! Who's seen Courageous? Who hasn't seen Courageous? Who's not going to raise your hand no matter what question I ask? Then they made War Room.
Yes.
War Room.
We have that one too.
Yeah. Then they made Overcomer, about the runner with asthma. I'm telling you, watch these movies. Watch these movies. Then they made a documentary on fatherhood. I forget what it's called, Tale of the Father or something. It was a different kind of movie, but it was very good.
That sounded creepy.
And I think that's it. They should be coming out with another one here fairly soon.
Kendrick Brothers.
Kendrick, Alex Kendrick, and his brother Stephen Kendrick. They were the media pastors at a Baptist church, Sherwood Baptist Church in Georgia.
Did they do Mom's Night Out?
No, they did not do Mom's Night Out. I think they might have had a part in that.
I think
When they
one of
first
them.
started
And in
using
fact,
children,
one of the main guys in Courageous, I think, is in Mom's Night Out, the small Spanish guy, who's hysterical. He's such a good guy. Anyway, I digressed. What am I doing? Headlines with Jay Leno.
Yes.
Anybody watch? It used to be on Monday nights. He had Headlines with Jay Leno.
Yeah.
Some of those are hysterical.
Yeah.
I got a book complete with those, and I remember my wife being upstairs one time, laying in bed, looking at headlines, and just laughing harder than I ever heard her laugh in my life. Yeah, Jay Leno's headlines.
Just crazy stuff. Yeah, that's all of them. If you want to take a picture of
Show
that.
me the Father.
Show Me the Father. Thank you. Who did that? Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Show Me the Father. That has a twist. Has anybody seen it? That has a twist at the end that'll blow you away. Oh, it'll blow you away. And it's true. It's a true story, I think.
Overcomer, you said.
I can't prove this, but I'm convinced. There are some people, and I'm going to get judgmental here, forgive me, but it's my personal view. You don't have to agree. We watch the late night news and then we go to bed. We pray, Lord, give me a good night's sleep. I have just filled my mind with rot and corruption and crime and negativity. Lord, please give me a good night's sleep. I mean, he can do that, but I think we ought to cooperate with him.
Yeah.
Why not spend a half an hour in devotions or laughing? And I'm convinced if I laugh 15 minutes, 30 minutes before bed, I sleep better. Sleep more soundly. For reasons that I hope have become obvious. All right, I have no idea what's next. Maybe the end. Oh, yeah, what about you? What makes you laugh?
Babies.
I was just gonna say, I'm like that. I can watch whatever I want the whole day, but in the evening, I want to watch something that will make me happy and then go to sleep. Because I want to have good dreams, not nightmares while I'm falling down a cliff with snakes around
Falling
me.
off a cliff.
And that's common sense, but it's not always common practice. So good for you. Good for you.
I was gonna say, I don't watch the news. I haven't watched it in years. I literally only watch the news when my mom calls and says, do you know this happened? And it's really bad, and then I'll just YouTube it to see that thing, whatever, local,
Yeah.
and that's it. I don't know what's going on with anything in the world, political or anything, and I'm very happy.
And I'll leave you there. I'm going to tell you something that's helped me because I can be a news junkie. Life Talk Radio. Who knows Life Talk Radio?
Yeah.
Who doesn't know Life Talk Radio? Fix that. Lifetalk.net. Lifetalkradio.net. It's Adventist run.
Is that on your phone?
On your phone. They have all sorts of podcasts. John Bradshaw, Shane Boonstra.
Is it on the satellite?
It's on. Yeah, it's anywhere. Lifetalkradio.net. They play Odyssey sometimes. They got lots of podcasts. But they have the regular channel, and then they have a Just Music channel. And that's what I go to sleep with. I just put the music, and you can set a timer to go for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90, whatever. But they have news. They have 5 minutes of news. Most every hour, not every hour. And that's enough to know what's going on in the world. That's enough.
Cool. Yeah.
You don't need to know about every single whatever. What else? What makes you laugh?
Babies laugh.
Babies.
Animals.
Baby animals. Oh, yeah. Yeah. What else? What makes you laugh?
Grandchildren.
Grandchildren. Yes.
I like those church signs.
Church signs.
There's some funny.
Some of those are hysterical.
Yeah.
Inserts.
Or the little veterinarian signs. There's this.
Oh, veterinarian
the
signs.
funniest signs.
Okay.
I don't know what their name is, but they constantly do funny.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
America's Funniest Home Videos is still running.
What is?
America's Funniest Home Videos.
America's Funniest Home Videos. Some of those, yeah, they seem staged to me, but some of them are. They're just hysterical. Yeah.
Pickles.
Pickles make you laugh.
Pickles
Like
make
this.
you
Oh, the comic strip. I happened to see Ardith at Subway the other day. She was there going, Pickles! Pickles is a good comic strip. I've seen it, but I don't think I've ever looked at it. Okay. Is it good? What else? What makes you laugh?
Here's one.
He's got one.
What do you got?
Peanuts.
Peanuts?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You bet. They're funny.
The comic strip, of course.
Yep. I like Frank and Ernest. Frank and Ernest walked into a bookstore. One of them, I don't know which is which, but one of them walked into a bookstore, and he said, "Do you have that book, How to Stop Buying Self-Help Books? Volume 7? Oh, any more? Or any more embarrassing moments? I don't want you leaving here thinking, I should have told this.
Red Skeleton.
Red Skeleton, yes. Clem Diddlehofer or whatever, and all those, yes.
My husband and I have Sirius Radio.
Yes.
We listen to Jack Benny sometimes. I guess it's kind of crazy funny, but
Yeah.
it
No,
does
Jack Benny.
Like Gildersleeves.
Yeah.
Some of those are really
Yeah.
funny.
He was my
Burns and
favorite.
Allen. Anybody remember Burns and Allen? You know, she was not ditzy. She was not ditzy at all. But, oh, she played ditzy good.
She did though. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was on a mission trip and doing triage, and I had a little boy come up to me. My Spanish teacher in college first told me, you will never speak fluent Spanish because of your accent. So I was going to ask him how old he was, and I said, "Cuantos años?" And he puts up one finger. know you're at least 6 years old. I looked at his mother and she was dying. And I thought that little boy had to say, "You stupid woman, I've got one."
Okay, we're gonna move past that. How many bottoms do you have? What if he had said 6? Anyway. Anybody else? Let us laugh with you, not at you. Going once.
I know one. We had friends.
Okay, listening here.
We had friends, and we were all telling blonde jokes. And have this one friend, lovely lady, very blonde. She said, "I've got one," and she started to tell this joke, and she got a little way done. And she stopped and she turned to her others. "I don't remember how it ends."
Oh. I personally, I appreciate that. I don't like telling blonde jokes myself, my personal. No, because seriously, there were no real blondes left. One blonde drowned, and she wanted to be buried at sea, and the rest of them all died drowned trying to dig her grave. Probably time to end, isn't it? No, laughter is so good. Thank you. You've been so great. I'm going to close with 2 puns. I took puns out. Do you know who created King Arthur's Round Table? Circumference.
Sir Landon.
And I'll close on this. Help me with this. I got a knock knock for you. Knock knock.
Who's there?
2.
To who?
No, actually it's to whom. On that note,
To whom?
get out of here. Thank you all. Good job. Good job.
Try.